What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Gotham, Season 3, Episode 10, Time Bomb. Nothing like starting off your morning with a Batman cup of coffee and some Gotham. So, let's talk about it. This was definitely a much improved episode, solely because there were no parts of it that I feel like truly just got annoying to me. And part of that is because the one aspect that has been the most annoying, namely focusing on the whole Enigma Cobblepot thing, actually was a lot more fun in this episode because there was more focus on what this is causing Enigma. You know, as much as I hate what they've done with Penguin's character and the fact that he's turning evil over a crush that he has, I love the fact that him killing Isabella has brought back the Enigma that I enjoy watching on screen. That death has caused, it's pretty much watching Kristen die again, which is pretty much what caused him to turn evil the first time. So I love that little fact that they threw in there. Even though I wish we could have learned more about Isabella and found out why she looks so much like Kristen, watching him go back to being evil again was a lot of fun in this episode. I mean, he kidnaps Butch and Tabitha, which I wish we could have seen that because that would have been fun to watch. Him figuring out where they are and capturing them, tying them up, stuff like that. That would have been fun to see how he did that. But they skip over that. They just have them captured. Of course, it has to be he gets the devices from like a sex shop, because it wouldn't be Gotham if there weren't some sexual situations in at least one episode in the season. But whatever reason, he's got Butch and Tabitha. He's torturing Butch to try to get him to, I guess, admit what he did, and also trying to break him down and make him, realize, I guess, that his heart is broken before he dies. So I loved watching him in this episode. I loved watching the performance. It was great. It was fun to really see Enigma just being Enigma again. It felt like a return to his character. And of course, every part of it, the whole setup, the way he sets up the whole, the device, like, you can either turn off this device, but if you do that, you kill Butch. So the one way to save your hand is to kill Butch. That little, that's hard to deal with. Think about that for a second. Somebody that, obviously it was showed that Tabitha isn't really 100% in love with him right now, because I don't know if she comprehends what love is. But somebody that you really care about is about to die, or you're about to lose your hand. Would you lose your own hand to save somebody that you kind of care about? That's kind of the question going on here. It's not even do you save your hand to save someone you love. It's do you save your hand, or whatever, save your hand to kill someone you love, or save your hand to kill someone that you just kind of care about, So it was a nice little setup. Ultimately, though, Butch reminds her of why she does care about him. He says, these past few days, they've been the best days of my life. It doesn't matter what you do, I still love you. And that moment just kind of reminds her, oh yeah, that's why I care about this guy. He's nice. And so she ultimately drops the trigger just as Enigma is starting to realize, wait a second, he said he shot her in the head, but she was hit by a train. And so he starts to realize maybe Butch isn't responsible for it, just as it comes down on her hand. And that stub when they came back from the break, it's like it cuts to commercial, comes back from the commercial break, and the first thing you see is she lifts up the stub, and it's like, it was gruesome. They did a great job with that prosthetic. You could see the bone, you could see, the muscle, all of it. It was, and then like blood squirting out of him. Like, holy crap, that's a really good prosthetic. It looks real. So all of that was enjoyable. Ultimately, Barbara was going through. It was kind of weird because Barbara just felt like kind of an add-on in this episode. Ultimately, she finds out that Penguin is likely responsible because she finds out he likes Enigma. And so that's sort of her point in all of this, but up until that moment, she just kind of seemed pointless in this episode. Like, she's going through all this information. She thinks Penguin has them, finds out from the maid that maybe Nigma's responsible. She's the one that goes to the sex shop to find out where they're hidden, and then she gets there just in time for Tabitha to be taken to the hospital. So I don't know. It felt like maybe she was going to get there just in time to save them. It turns out she got there just in time, I guess, to take Tabitha to the hospital, but nothing else. So all in all, that part of it was good. It was definitely much better than the whole Nigma Cobblepot storyline has been, because ultimately you're starting to see the repercussions of everything that happened with Isabella. It's not just, oh, Penguin likes Nigma, oh my gosh. It's not that stupid relationship stuff that I don't want to see in Gotham. The only time that relationship stuff really is enjoyable on the show is, one, Bruce and Selena, because hell, they're adorable. They're kid couples on shows, especially shows like this, Gotham, The Walking Dead with Carl and Enid. Kid couples on shows like this just kind of make you go, oh, those kids are so oblivious. They don't realize that love is hard. So that's fun to watch. The stuff with Jim, it's part of his character. Everything going on with him and Lee right now, it's part of the main story. It's part of pretty much what's going on with Lee and Mario and all of that stuff. It all ties into the main story. The stuff with Cobblepot and Nigma hasn't tied into anything. It's just been really boring and bland and out of nowhere. It's just like, what is this? So now we're finally starting to see what it's causing. We're starting to see really what the point of all of it has been. And it's been pretty much to bring Nigma back into Nigma. And even though I don't like the fact that the only reason Penguin's turning evil is because he has a crush on somebody, I think hopefully Penguin will start becoming Penguin again. I mean, the first scene with him and Barbara in this one was a return to form for his character. Like his speech that he gave her felt a lot more like the Penguin I've come to know on this show. So that's for that storyline. Much better this episode for sure. The rest of it was also really good. We have pretty much Mario and Lee. They're having a dinner with Falcone, and then the car blows up, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, is somebody trying to kill Carmine Falcone? I kind of figured it wasn't going to be him, because frankly, this show feels like they're trying to find a reason to put Lee and Jim back together. So you could kind of see, okay, it's probably not going to be somebody trying to kill Carmine. Likely somebody will be trying to kill Mario or Lee, and for whatever reason. Turns out they're trying to kill Mario. It's the Court of Owls, which we learn a lot more about, and Bruce's story, which I'll get to. And so we start to learn this slowly throughout the episode. Carmine's involved, Mario's involved. Jim is trying to help save Mario because he wants... It's like, because he still has feelings for Lee, he wants to help her. And if helping her means saving the man she's about to marry, it's kind of twisted when you really think about it. Like, oh, I love this woman, so to help her, I'm going to make sure she marries another guy. I'm going to make sure he lives to see the wedding day. It's kind of sad. But they end up fighting off these guys. Mario kills one of the guys that was trying to kill him. And Jim manages to lock up the other guy. And in that scene, you can kind of see maybe something was off with Mario just a little bit, but nothing for certain. And then we see Carmine interrogating the guy, rips out his tooth, sees the Court of the Owls symbol on his tooth. Holy crap, that's that's new. So we see that, and then we see Lee goes to Jim's apartment, kind of says this, we never properly said goodbye, gives him one final kiss, which likely they're going to get together later. But of course Mario sees her walking out of the apartment, and you think, okay, so he's just going to get jealous. Throughout the entire episode, there are these moments where Jim is trying to help, and Mario's just like, you're just jealous of Lee. Carmine was even like, you don't want my son to marry Lee. And I'm just like, no, he's trying to help you. Don't you see that, you idiots? Well, we finally see that Mario may have had an excuse for not totally believing him, because these two guys are like coming up to rob him. He breaks the arm of one guy by just twisting it, like just whoosh, and is holding the other guy up off his feet against a pole. And all of a sudden, you hear voices in his head, and he's just like, she loves me, and then the veins go, and I'm just like, holy crap, he's been infected by Alice's blood. That's what's going on here. Like, it didn't even hit me at first. When he killed the guy by choking him out, I was just like, that's weird. Why is he so violent all of a sudden? Like, I guess maybe he has a secret side to him that we haven't seen yet. But after seeing, like, the veins on his thing, hearing the voices in his head, I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it's been this whole time. That's why he's been so, like, argumentative with Jim, because he's been infected. I don't know how long he's been infected, but clearly we're getting to the stage now where the voices in his head are starting to pop up, and he's starting to kill because of those voices. So likely this is where this whole storyline has been leading up to. It's a great twist. I hope they show how he got infected with her blood. I guess it could be, maybe Lee brought the work home with her one night and he happened to accidentally stumble into it or something, and that's when he got infected. We'll probably see next episode what happened. But I love that. I love what they've done with this storyline. I love how what a great twist. I mean, it really was a good twist to throw in there. So yeah, really excited, looking forward to next episode with that. Final thing to talk about, of course, is Bruce and Selina's story. They're trying to figure out more about this key. They're at the Wayne Manor. Of course, we have a moment where Ivy, because she is an idiot, tricks Alfred using her hypnotizing perfume to convince him to let her out of the house. So he helps her. So she escapes. They finally figure out about the key because Selina breaks down the stuff on the key, the rust, I guess, and he sees it's the owl symbol from the masked lady. So he thinks that those are who the people that were trying to kill him work for. And so we go through this thing where they call him, tell him apparently they found Ivy because she's an idiot, and they have her and they'll trade the key for her. So they bring the key to him and just like, I want to talk to Catherine and blah, 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 blah. Coming to find out these guys actually used to work for the Court of Owls, but then they don't anymore because the Court of Owls betrayed them. So now they have an ally to work with. I'm like, this is interesting. This is the first time that it feels like things are starting to go right for Bruce. Like, it felt like for the past couple seasons, things were just, there were moments where it felt like, okay, he finally found out who killed his parents. It felt like there were moments, it's just like things are going right, just for it to be cut off. All of a sudden the guy who killed his parents killed himself, and then they find out there's somebody else behind him who wanted his parents dead, and then he finally finds them, only to find out that they are way too powerful to take on right now, so he's got to push it to the side. So it feels like things don't go right for him, and so then finally a moment where it's just like, they have a chance. These people are clearly pretty powerful, so to work together with them might actually give them a chance. And then, it's the typical storyline that goes through with Bruce. Just when things start to go right, all of a sudden that one guy who wears the mask that took on Alfred the one time and knocked him out, he shows up, kills both of the guys, and he kills one, sword through the back, and then breaks out the Assassin's Creed knives in his hands. And I fully wanted him to kill the guy and be like, Rescueta Tempache, and something like that. So yeah, now those guys are dead, but we do have the fact that Jim is starting to figure out Mario is apparently being targeted by the Court of Owls. So it's all sort of tying together. It's not just, okay, so Bruce and Selina's storyline, Jim's storyline, Nigma and Cobblepot's storyline. It's more like Nigma and Cobblepot's storyline, and then the rest of it, the Court of Owls storyline, because that's what's tying it all together. It's who the main villain is turning out to be this season, and I like what they've done with it so far. It's a good story. It's easy to follow. It's fun to follow. It's fun to figure out what's going to happen next week. Is what's going on with Alice's blood? Does that have anything to do with the Court of Owls? Do they want Alice's blood? What's happening? I want to know more. I want to tune in next week to find out. So yeah, overall, definitely a much better all-around episode. Less frustrating moments. And, just really, really good. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Gotham reviews. I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.